Go ahead.
I'll share one kind of for us, for Valerie. We had a client that was close to us that we sent over to Valerie, and gave her notice on a Thursday. They're coming up, she's coming up for the weekend. Gonna, have the rapid fire, find her a house coming up from Southern California. Valerie found her house, got her into contract in 3 or 4 days, in the 3 or 4 days that she was here. And that one just closed a few days ago. And well, actually, I guess yesterday, while she was
in labor. Awesome. Fantastic. Well, thank you guys for sharing. Lindsay, if you want to come up and give us the lender update.
Hi guys, I'm Lindsay Boris with the JJ team. Probably most of you guys know me. I'm here most weeks. Good to see you guys. So wanted to give you a little bit of an update on the Dream for All program that we have kind of mentioned. So we just got notification a couple days ago that the window for registration for some of your clients that are getting pre-approved or interested in that, it's going to be open from April 3rd to April 29th is the window. So they've been saying sometime in March or April is when we're going to open that up. They finally released those dates. So the time to get those clients pre-approved is now. If they're interested in that program, we have a handful of people that have already been pre-approved over the last few months with quite a few agents that will start that process and educate your clients on how to submit that through as we get a little bit closer to that April 3rd date. But there's still time to get them pre-approved for that open period. So that's the time when the clients can actually submit for the program in that 26 days. Once that closes, the lottery for that will be, all the submissions will be done, and then they'll draw for that in the coming weeks.
Can you remind us what, isn't there a certain type of buyer that's?
Yes, so the parameters around this, it's a first-time home buyer, multi-generational first-time home buyer. So your clients can't have owned a home in the last 7 years themselves. Also, so say there's a borrower pair, a married couple, at least one of them has to have a parent that does not currently own a home. So that's sort of the multi-generational level to it. So if they're a first-time home buyer, but their parents each own homes, they're disqualified from this program. So that's how they've tightened up the requirements on this program from last year a little bit. It's a 20% shared appreciation. So they get 20% down payment at the time that they sell or refinance down the road. They have to pay back that 20% shared appreciation plus a little bit of a percentage of what the home has appreciated in value between the time they bought it and the time that they sell. And we can give you more information and specifics about that, but those are kind of the main qualifying factors. You could do both. Yeah. And then kind of market update. Rates have not changed much in the last week since JJ had spoke. Still hanging out in that 7% range. I will say that some of the assistance programs kind of factored into their, first-time home buyers down payment assistance. They do give a little bit of a break on the rates. So those actually tend to be below market rates on those. Those are in like the kind of mid upper 6s. So another little bit of a benefit for your first-time home buyers. And then after you guys are having your open house on the 12th, we're having our kind of grand reopening at our new space we've been at for a few months on the 14th. So I'll leave some of these. We'd love to see you guys and have food, drinks, music. I didn't know about the bagpipes. So yeah, we'd love to have you guys kind of open house. It's in the evening, 4:30 to 7. We'd love to see some of your faces.
Awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. Now, if somebody needs to get in touch with you, what's the best number they can reach you at?
So please reach out to our team number because JJ, Allison, and I all have access and monitor that. It's 916-517-1800.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Lindsay. All right. So for those of you that are new to the meeting today, please scan the barcode if you want to stay in the know with what's going on with Brent's events. We'll always update you on peak car events, these weekly huddles that we have here in the new office space. So go ahead and scan that. Speaking of peak car, Steph, can you throw up the upcoming peak car event for this March? We've got our local legend, whom we all love and appreciate so much, Ryan Lindquist. He's known as Sack Appraiser, I believe, on Instagram. If you're not following him, you should be following him. If you haven't gone to his blog post and registered to get his newsletters, I definitely encourage you to do that. So that's coming up on the 21st of March at PCAR. I would encourage you to invite agents to join us there and go ahead and register. It is on Eventbrite. We don't have a QR code on that one, but you can find it on Eventbrite. Thanks, Steph. And then after this meeting today, Lindsay and Allison will be here. I'm not sure if JJ will slide in or not, but we're going to be doing a call jam here in this room. So if anybody wants to stay and do some prospecting this morning, keep that pipeline going as we're closing and opening escrows, that would be an opportunity for you to join us today. And then we have another guest speaker in the room. I don't know his name.
Jeremy.
Jeremy, thank you.
Before he walks in, I just wanted to mention, I know it's a couple months out, but we have our 5th annual Top Women in Real Estate event coming up this year. It is sold out every year. And this year it's going to be at my house. So we're doing a garden party type Top Women of Real Estate. So if you're interested, reach out to Cindy or myself or whoever else in here has information on tickets and sponsorship.
Fantastic. They always do a really great job. Yes.
Sorry, one more thing. Did Johnny tell you about the RPR training on the 28th?
Yeah. Yeah, it's scheduled.
I know, but, yeah, let's schedule that, but you need to mark it. I'm gonna mark it to our team, but.
Our team is marketing it as well.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, Jeremy, the floor is yours. Go ahead and
All right.
introduce yourself. Thanks
Good
for
morning,
showing up.
everyone. How's everybody doing? Pass it down. Looks like we probably have enough. My name is Jeremy Skaggs. I'm the project manager for LGI Homes, means I cover from Marysville all the way down to Stockton. My background, so I was in resale for quite a while. The last brokerage I was with was EXP.
Yeah.
Actually recruited this guy in. Moved from Seattle down to California, and then got into the new home building business. So hanging my license with LGI Homes because that's required. So who's LGI Homes? Texas-based home builder since 2003. Some of you may have not heard of us. We're new to California, been here about 5 or 6 years. We are 100% spec builder. Our business model is moving renters into buyers and first-time home buyers. We have the highest absorption rate in the industry, over 6 homes closed per community per month. You can see probably why 100% spec builder, you're going to move in more folks. I know everybody likes to read ahead because I'm that guy too. Currently in 21 states and expanding. We have 5 markets in Northern California. We'll have 12 by the end of the year. Benefits to the clients, 30 to 60-day move-in ready homes. This one's particular to the D'Antoni Ranch location, which is up in Linda, California. There's massive economic development coming that direction. Costco, Chick-fil-A, if you haven't been up there, you know there hasn't been anything up there in quite a while. And we are currently in first phase. Have 35 under contract and moved in our first families, 5 people last week. It's in Linda, California. About 5 to 8 minutes from the Hard Rock Hotel Casino, if you're familiar with that, and the brand new Costco that went in November. We pay closing costs, basically almost everything. Buyer has $1,000 to reserve the home, and then they pay $3,000 at the end. We cover the rest. That includes prepaids. We also do 2-1 buy downs. I'm sure everyone's familiar with that. Plus other rate buy downs. We contribute, depending on the home, $15,000 to $30,000. Just depends. Up there specifically, our lots range from about 6,000 to about 13,000 square feet. So a lot of variation on size for those lots of premiums at a very low level, 3,000 to 4,000 on those larger lots. Probably the most thing that you're interested in, what's the benefits to you? Easiest 3% commission that you're ever going to make. Okay. Having been on the other side of the coin from a builder in the past, I know exactly what it's like. Having gone into a builder and had a negative experience before myself. And when I got to LJ Homes, like, well, why the heck is it that way? I don't understand why it was that way or why it needed to be that way. We go as far as when someone sits down with us when they come in, we are asking them if they have a realtor. We were asking because you know that they're going to call, you know that they're going to go online and you're going to do that anyways, no matter how many times that we tell them not to do that. And oftentimes that could have caused cutting somebody out on the procuring costs. Last year, 98% of the deals that we did were through realtors. And that is partially because of my outreach and my team's outreach, as well as capturing them when they're calling in. I'm asking, do you have a realtor? Do you have a realtor? I'll call the realtor on the spot. Make sure I get them protected. I'm the guy that signs off on that. And make sure we have a great relationship. Quick closings, 30 to 60 days, no offers, no inspections that you have to sit. I say best builder relationship in the world because we know it's a global world out there. You can lead generate from anywhere. I talked to Drew Johnson just a little bit ago via text. He's done some business with us. I know he's in there. He's
Cabo.
got some people in Cabo right now. So says to say hi. He hasn't already. All you have to do is call me and tell me you're sending me a client. The relationship that I'd say would be fantastic is Jeremy so-and-so is coming. You're going to be there at 3 o'clock. I told him to go see my guy, Jeremy. I said, no problem. I'll hang up the phone and send you a prospect registration form. That's how we operate up there. Okay. So, price points, $395,000 to $525,000. That's the total price. It includes the solar and all the upgrades in it. They can't pick out a darn thing, but the homes look fantastic. I know we're doing a tour, next Wednesday for some folks. Invite anyone else who wants to come up and do a private tour. I'm happy to do it on any of the locations that I oversee and any of the locations that I don't oversee. My contact information is on the very back page. That is my personal cell phone number. If you're going to text me, please just let me know who you are since I haven't met anyone yet and I know we don't have time to do that. And then my email to LGI Homes, and I'm happy to accommodate anything that you need or answer any questions.
Awesome.
Good
I've
to
sold
go?
a couple of their homes and they have been great to work with. Just so you guys know, very easy to work with, very smooth. No issues or hassles. And we're gonna do a tour next Wednesday, the 13th at 2 p.m. So anyone who wants, I think 2, so super 1. Okay, I think it's 2.
It's too.
But, okay. And so anyone who wants to join us, there's about 7 or 8 of us from the Wheatland, Yuba City area that are all going. So you guys are welcome to come.
When is that, Margaret?
It's Wednesday at 2.
It's worth going. I was there 2 weeks ago. And
Yeah.
The homes for $400,000 will knock you off your socks, and they're like quarter-acre lots. Every upgrade you normally would pick out from a normal builder is included with them, and they have exceptional service. It's definitely, if you got clients below end, it's really the only place to go to find a new construction at
Yeah.
400,000. It's Linda.
Awesome.
I don't have any. Anyone else have any questions?
Where do we, find, like, where can I see these? Are they in MLS or?
They are in MLS. Yes, they are on the MLS and they're on the website, lgihomes.com, and you just pick the community.
They're at.
There's contact information on there? Can you give
The
it?
one in
It's gonna
Linda.
be at the one in Linda. It's called Dan Tony Ranch. I'm sorry?
What are the costs for?
The cross streets can be Hamilton Smartsville Road and Rick Drive. Yep. And my contact information is on there. If some reason you're having a little bit of difficulty, just message me and I'll send you the address and you can put it right there in the link.
We can always do happy hour after tour too.
We can do it during the tour.
Oh, well. Now we're talking. We might need an Uber.
Yes, we've got several locations. So 5 locations right now, going to 12 in Northern California over the next probably 14 months.
There is one in Lincoln and 12 Bridges
Mhm.
as well. So right on 12 Bridges Drive, it's by Del Webb. Like if you go 12 Bridges where the Chevron is, you turn left and go, if you're gonna go to Del Webb and it's up there on the left.
I don't oversee that one, but I can get you connected.
Oh, okay.
It's no problem. Just message me. I'll take care of it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Yes, thanks everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. All right, so, we had an amazing individual step up to the plate today. She always does. Never any doubt with Cindy Silva. So, Johnny called on her yesterday when Valerie went into labor. So she is going to share with us how to write offers that win. We're going to lead in with the video before she comes up. So Steph, if you can roll that video for us, please.
Let me see what your best move is. Jeez.
Well, good morning. That was my post yesterday on my Instagram. So if you guys don't follow me for funny stuff, Cindy Silva Realtor is my handle on there. So Clearly, the market is crazy right now, as we're all seeing. It is multiple offers on almost everything. You should actually go into everything, assuming it's going to be multiple offers right now. I was shocked when Robbie called me yesterday to tell me we are down to 1 month of inventory in plaster cleaning when we should have 4 right now. So we have a quarter of the percentage of inventory that's normal at this time of the year. So I am here to teach you guys on how to beat out multiple offers. So your client comes into a house, they love it, they want to make an offer. What is the first thing you should do? So I'm going to give you the step-by-steps on how we get our offers accepted. Number one, the very first thing you should do is call the listing agent. And my big word is call. Do not text the listing agent. You need to call that agent. Because the very first thing you need to do is establish a relationship. Before we talk price, before we talk what they want, you need to establish a relationship, because in a multiple situation, there are 1,000 realtors calling. You want them to remember you. So you need to find that connection. It's another EXP agent. Awesome. What team you on? If it was, horse ranch, are you a horse person too? Just find whatever it is. It could be, their kids go to the same school. Just find any little connection that you possibly can. And if it's not the listing agent at the open house, maybe ask a little bit from that person hosting a little bit about the listing agent so you could find that connection. After you've made that connection, the second thing that you're going to want to do is ask what the seller wants in an offer. I will tell you, as a listing agent, this rarely happens, and I don't understand why. How are you out there writing offers when you don't know what they want? You're wasting your time. You're wasting your client's time. There are things that you will be surprised that people want in an offer. We've had people want to leave goats behind. We've had people want to leave, we've inquired a dog before on a transaction. Sometimes they want to leave a tractor. They want to leave a riding lawnmower. Maybe they need a rent back. Maybe it's a new build and they need a lease back. All these things we want to ask, what is the most important thing that you're looking for in an offer besides the price? Because sometimes I'm realizing right now, it's not always about the price. You could be a little bit under and you're still going to win if you've got exactly what they're looking for. Because as a listing agent, we're looking for who is listening, who is asking those questions to get me exactly what I want. The last thing you want to get put in is a multiple counter offer. We want them to be able to just execute it without countering it. So that's the very first step that you're going to take, is contacting that listing agent. Then the second step, what I do is I like to, at that time, I'm going to start doing my due diligence to making an offer. So this is a great time to go ahead and tell your clients to write a letter to the seller or a video to the seller. This is extremely important. I will tell you, pretty much all my buyers have gotten their offers accepted recently due to their letter. We weren't the highest, we weren't the best, but it was the connection that they made. My last one in Whitney Ranch is their kids will be going to the same school. Their kids were the same age. They wanted to give it to a young family. The one before it was a nurse. It was a nurse selling to a nurse. The one before that was a teacher selling to a teacher. This is why this is important, is to make a connection. They want to know who is buying their house, and they want to know why they like their house. I think doing videos is a great way. Sometimes you get agents that won't present the videos. So I kind of like doing the letters and then following up with a counter offer with a video. So that's what I do. At the same time, let's see, what else are we going to be having them do? Really, that's all I'm having the agents do at that time. So now it's time for me to gather the information that I needed to write the offer. So the very first thing is studying the territory. So let's take, for example, this zip code. I know for a fact right now, 75% of the pending offers right now had multiple offers. So I could now go to my client and go, look, 75% of the offers in this zip code have multiple offers on an average of 4 offers per deal. Now we've seen them as low as 2, and we've seen like Heather's up to 15. So, we've got a big range, but they're averaging about 4 offers per deal right now. So you go in, so they're not like, you need to prepare them. This is a fight that we're going into right off the bat. Then we're going to do our CMA. We want to make sure that agent priced it correctly. Did she price on the high end? Did she price on the low end? We are seeing more than likely right now, people are kind of pricing on the lower end to get multiple offers and have it go over. We're noticing that people that are kind of pricing at the top of the price range, they're getting about 2. And sometimes they're doing price deductions if the home is not moving right. So we want to study the data so we can present that to our client that they're very comfortable with the offer that they're going to make. The next thing that we're going to do is a very important step. Number 4 is reach out to your lender. You need to be talking to your lender before you even circle back with your client for a couple of reasons. One, we want to find out how quickly can that lender close. We are noticing no one really wants a 30-day close of escrow. Everyone's wanting a 21-day close of escrow. Are they pre-approved through underwriting that they're able to do that? If your clients are not being pre-approved through underwriting, I think you're all failing right now. There's a reason that box came on the listing agreement that says pre-approved through underwriting. I will tell you as a listing agent, it's the first thing I look for, who actually did their due diligence. And let's be honest, it's not really the buyer's problem. It's the lazy lenders who don't want to do the pre-approved through underwriting because they feel they're wasting their time because it's not in contract yet. Well, that just tells me I'm dealing with lazy people on the other end. So you don't want to pre-approve through underwriting. And I know we get people from other areas sometimes, like, for example, I've got 3 clients right now from Sonoma County. They don't pre-approve through underwriting in that area, but I'm making their lender do it because they had said, this is our territory. This is what we're looking for. So we want to make sure that the next thing we want to talk to our lenders, we're going into always assume we're going into a negotiation period. What is the max that we could actually push our budget to? We want to have that conversation without our buyer. The reason is because the buyer's going to say, oh my God, it sounds so high. But once I get into negotiations, I'm like, I already spoke to your lender. We could go up to this price and this is what your payment's going to be. Have that data ready. So you're not, because if there's a multiple counter, you want to be the first one to send yours back. You don't want to be waiting on your lender to go, oh, well, they could go up, $5,000, we want to know everything ahead of time. You need to be prepared ahead of time. So we said we have a plan when we go into action. This doesn't work. This is going to be our backup plan. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is number 5. Can we bring up the slide sheet? Number 5, thank you. Okay, so now we're actually, sorry, it's a little blurry. I could read it to you though. So now we're actually going to make the offer. And I could make it better when I'm, there's a little clearer, or my eyes are blurry, I know. So now we're going to write the offer. The first thing I want to make sure is, do you guys know your RPA? Have you read it? It is shocking how many agents have not ever actually read their RPA. They just fill in the blanks and they don't know what it means. Please know your RPA. You need to be able to summarize each section. Unless you plan on reading that whole darn thing to your client, you better know how to summarize each page. And at this point, you should know where everything is on each page. If someone's like, oh, I need mediation, you're like, oh, I know that's on page 5. You should really, really know your contract. And if you don't, the biggest thing I suggest doing is have it go on to MLS, pick a listing, find a buddy, say, I'm going to write an RPA for you. Will you double check it and make sure it's correct? I did hundreds of those when I started off. I would just go to Darcy, I would go to Brent, here, just give me a listing. I'm going to write an offer and just send it back to them. People are willing to help you guys do that. Any of us who've been in the business a long time, it will take us 2 seconds to check that for you. So please don't hesitate asking people. You've got to know your RPA. So when we write our RPA, of course, we want to be competitive. So like I said, we're going to make sure that we're going to come in with a competitive offer due to the data that we collected. Number 2, earnest money deposit. As we know, it's standard 1% here. Any of you that work in the Bay Area, it's 3% there. It's how you always know it's a Bay Area buyer, it's going to be 30% on their EMD. We don't want to be normal. We don't want to be the 1%. We want to at least be 2% or higher. You want to show that you have money. And a lot of times it keeps your clients from spending their money if you put it in escrow. So go ahead and the more you put in escrow, the less chance they have of spending it. So make sure that your EMD is at least 2%, if not 3%. We are noticing people are coming here from the Bay Area. I've seen a lot of negotiation coming back at 3% EMD. I don't know why. It's because you guarantee there's one Bay Area person in there in your mix. That's how you always know. The gift of time. This is huge. Like I said, do they need a rent back? Do they need a lease back? What do they need? Because that is more important than money than most people. If they have a new construction that's 60 days out, for them, it doesn't really matter the price. It's who's going to give them the 60 days that they get to stay in their house until their new house is ready. So that is huge. Please make sure you ask about the gift of time. Once again, we talked about making the connection. We already talked about that. Contingencies. Please do not leave your contingencies the way they are. Right there, you don't know how to negotiate, you show as an agent. There's nobody that should require 17 days to do anything. If it is, you're lazy, your lender's lazy, everyone's gonna take their time. You need to be cutting those short. Honestly, I haven't seen any contingencies over 12 days in years. And as soon as they leave them 17, they go bottom of the pile. There should be no reason to do that. The only thing is when you circle back with your lender, you do want to ask, can you order the appraisal on day one? Because we want to make sure we have that appraisal back in order to remove our correct contingencies. I thought something, this was an interesting fact too. It says NAR says that the offers with the fewest contingencies is often the most attractive. And I have to agree with that. The one with the less contingencies, if you see someone who's like, I moved appraisal or I moved loan, they go right to the top of the pile. Now that's not, always feasible for everyone, but then if it's not, make your contingency shorter so you can be competitive with those people. And then as we know, every home is taken as is. However, what there is a difference of is telling them personally, we will take it as is, no repairs, no credits. Now that is something you would input into your listing, every listing is already, offers as is. But if you type it in there, no credits, no repairs, now you're really showing that you're in this to win this. And any questions so far about this? I kind of went through that quickly. No? Perfect. Gonna keep moving along. Yes.
You mentioned the love letter.
Yes.
The love video. I love that idea and have used it very successfully.
Yes.
However, I was under the impression that those were illegal by the DRE and we're not allowed to do that. But recently it's come back. And
The
there may
only brokerage that doesn't allow it is Coldwell Banker.
it's not a brokerage thing.
It's
actually the listing.
Yeah, you can check.
And say I'll accept letters. Oh, really? Yeah. But just for everyone, if it's in the listing agreement, I'll accept letters. If it's not. Okay.
I've never had, I get them on every, like when I write them on every one and I present every single one that's given to me. And it really differentiates your offer because when we have multiple offers and we have 12 offers, we start with the ones with the letters. Those are our connections. And the other people are just numbers, connections and numbers.
100%.
What did come up with the pictures, not to put pictures in them many times because pictures could be discriminated against.
Right, that was the issue that I was told that I don't like X race of people. I don't want to mention any because I don't want to be racist, but and that was the reason because you didn't choose my client because they're Japanese or whatever the issue is. So that apparently that's not the case. So
We kind of hard. But I always have a picture. And sometimes if my clients aren't comfortable, like we just did one in Fair Oaks, they're very not comfortable with pictures. But we knew the people were dog people. So we put pictures of their dogs on the letter and they literally wrote an accepted offer back with a letter back to the dogs. About how they were so excited for the dogs to have a new home. It was the cutest thing ever. So yes, I do put the pictures. It's one of those, I believe that you just beg for forgiveness once it comes, but I think it's very smart to do it. And I know my clients choose people due to their letters all the time. So yeah, no, that's a great question. Okay, so now once we've written our offer to you guys, please have someone double check it. I don't care how long you've been doing this, have them double check it because in a multiple counter offer as a listing agent, I'm going through it. They checked this box wrong. They checked this box wrong. They didn't fill this in. Oh my God, can you imagine when disclosures come out? These people can't even do their listing or their RPA correctly. These things are very important. And it's even some of us are very anal, like if there's one seller, but you have a template and 2 boxes are checked, but there's only one seller name on it, it drives me crazy. Like you were that lazy, you couldn't unclick a box. You just kept your template going. So please know we are looking for people that are filling out their offers correctly. And the ones that don't do it correctly, they're going to the bottom of the pile as well. So please have someone double check your work. Then once we've got it ready, now we're going to go ahead and email it over to the agent. So here's what we're going to do when we email it over to the agent. First, we are going to make one package. You're not going to, it'll driving us crazy when people do multiple attachments, when there's multiple offers and you've got everything, got a pre-approval letter, you got an offer, you got this, you got that. Combine everything into one packet. And the way you want to combine it in a packet is you're gonna go pre-approval first, your letter second, third is gonna be your offer, fourth is gonna be your proof of funds. That is the correct order to put it into your listing package as one document. And how they say, there's some agents that don't do the letter, well, now it's in the middle of the package, so guess what? It's printing out no matter what.
Say that order again.
Sure, it's gonna go pre-approval letter. Then it's gonna go your client's letter. Then it's gonna go your purchase agreement. And then your proof of funds. So that is a correct order on how to submit it. Once we do that, now we are going to make sure, because like Tom said, some people don't present letters. So now we are going to write a letter in our offer. So we are going to pretty much make a summary of what that letter says, just in case she doesn't do it, it's in there twice. So I always write a letter, tell them a little bit about my clients, why they like the home. And now the most important stuff, if anybody has worked with Brent, is your offer highlights. This is huge. So what you're gonna do after you've given the description in bold letters, you're gonna put offer highlights. And you're gonna pinpoint everything that we went over in the transaction. And you wanna be careful on how you use your verbiage because you want it to sound great. So for example, if we have a house, say it's 500, but we were gonna offer 505, we would write purchase price 505. But however, say we're gonna go, it's 500, we're gonna offer 525. I like going 25,000 over asking price, exclamation point, because it sounds bigger, right? Than actually just writing the price. Then we're gonna point out our EMD. Then we're gonna point out our contingencies. Then we're gonna point out our lender and say our lender will be following up with you in the next hour after this is submitted. You're gonna put that in writing. And I always like to end all my bullet points with, this is gonna be a fun and easy transaction as one of my bullet points. Because people go, okay, shit, this isn't gonna be so bad. It's gonna be good. So we wanna make sure we highlight all those points because sometimes, guys, we get 20 offers and we've got, 5 hours to get them together and get net sheets together. And we love agents that give bullet points because it makes, when we put it on our charts to present to our clients, they just saved us a step and they got bonus points already. So make sure you please do the offer highlight. Just don't say, here's our offer. So once you email that over, you are going to text the agent. The offer is in their email. And the reason we are now texting and not calling, we need something in writing. We need them to confirm receipt. So that's why we're going to now text them. Yes, Tom.
Forgive me, on the offer highlights, you gave a specific order.
Yes.
I usually put that in the body of the email that I send to them. Do you
Yes.
recommend that or a separate sheet?
Nope, in the body of the email.
Okay,
Right.
great. Then can you give what the order
So
is?
you do it right in the same
Right.
order as the RPA. Same order. You want it in the same order. So they're reading it and just flipping through your RPA. So you put it in the same order as all your stuff.
So price, terms,
Right.
time.
Mhm. Exactly. And then don't forget about your lender. And I always say, like, my lender, Sheena Blair, give all the details. So when they see that call come over, they know to answer it, that it is their lender because they know the name, they know their company and they have their phone number. So make sure you put all that in your offer highlights as well. Once we're going to text the agent and we're going to tell them offers in your email, please confirm. Soon as you send that, your next text is to your lender. Give them a call. Let them know our buyers are solid. Let them know we're pre-approved through underwriting. Let them know that you close in 3 weeks all the time. It is, I will say, out of most transactions, I will get one lender that calls and I don't understand it. And I will tell you, they go right to the top because their lender called and they've now established a relationship. If you do not have your lender call, you're wasting time again. You guys, it's crazy that these should be standard steps and so many people don't do them. And right now, moving into multiple offers, you don't do this, you're gonna have a real hard time moving forward. The next thing, let's see. Really? And then after you text, so we've texted the listing agent, we've texted our lender, and the next text should go to your buyers. Hey, I just want to let you know your offer's been sent off, it's been received, and our lender has already done a follow-up. Now they go, oh, done their job. Like they can now relax and wait. A big thing too, I always like to do is our time frame to respond. I never give them more than 24 hours. They're lucky if they even get 24 hours from me. Do not give 3-day grace period. You're just opening that window for so many more offers to come in. If they need to extend it, they can extend it. but be strong right out of the gate. You've got to show that you're strong. Don't come in assuming that you're gonna negotiate a price. Come in with your highest price. Come in right away. Don't think you're gonna get a counter. You don't want to get a counter. You want to get an exception. And really, that's kind of how I get all my offers accepted. Any questions, anyone? No? Yes, sir.
If you have something on your RPA that you think might be, that might generate counter as opposed to an exception or acceptance. Do you like title and escrow? Do you always put seller's choice? Do you always get at it, or do you request your title and escrow?
I always leave, well, it depends. Every situation is different. Sometimes we could go 50-50 on everything. Also knowing, are you making the call? Do you know when you're filling out your paperwork, is there going to be city transfer tax in there? Are you just putting if applicable? No, why don't you know? Make the phone call. Don't be stupid. Don't say, well, maybe, like find out this stuff. And because you want to make sure when you're, and I always try to avoid negotiation I always include an addendum that says I will beat any offer by $1,000. So I've already countered myself. So, and I can tell you, I won so many deals over $1,000 because I put it in my offer right away. Don't negotiate your commission. Don't do any of that stuff. You guys you're worth everything that you earn, but be smart. Think 10 steps ahead of the game. How are we going to get them not to counter anyone else? So I always send a counter or an addendum with it saying that I will beat any offer by $1,000 if it's feasible. Clearly it has to be feasible. But there's,
Up to a certain amount.
it depends on their situation. Yes. They have to show proof, of course. You don't take their word. They have to show you that other offer. But what it does is that generally what it does is they'll only go ahead and go back to you and not back to everybody. Because they would have to then go back to everybody and then go back to you last. They're not going to play that game, right? You've already beat them to the punch.
So Cindy, I have a question. You did an outstanding job of describing how to write a winning killer offer. We've got a lot of new agents in the room that are working predominantly with buyers.
Okay.
And what we're seeing in the market is that a lot of the buyers haven't adjusted to the state of the market. So how do you have that conversation with the buyer that's ready to buy, but maybe not prepped for what they're going to encounter?
Absolutely. Great question. Yes, there's a lot of been changes that are going on. And so what I like to do is education is everything. What people are hearing and seeing on the news is national news. That has nothing to do with Placer Sac in El Dorado County, Yuba County, Sutter County. So immediately, the very first appointment I have with my buyers, I say, you're not allowed to watch the news or read anything about real estate anymore. I am your point of contact. You are hiring me to get local information from me. And I explained how we've had to sue our local news stations here for false information. There's just so much false information out there. I love giving the example that Ryan did about this one builder who said, investor who said they owned, I think it was like 50 or 49% of our territory. And Brian found all the data that said they actually did 1% of our territory. So, I mean, I love showing the false, and like I have examples to show why not to follow the news and read national news, because what's important is knowing your market here. What is the average days on the market here? How many are going pending quickly? What is our inventory doing? It's really studying your market. And it's the simplest thing is, you guys, every morning, the first thing I do is I read MLS. I see what new listings came on the market, what fell out of contract. Why did they fall out of contract? By looking at the pictures. Who did a price increase? What is happening? So if anyone calls me at any time, I know what every market is doing every single day. Yes, sir.
Cindy also has a buyer's packet and a seller's packet. So I don't know if that answers your question, but she meets with the buyers, presents a whole packet, what the steps are going to be, what to expect. So that kind of helps them reading material.
Yeah, a buyer's presentation is very helpful. I don't ever let anyone I refuse to set them up on MLS till they have a buyer's presentation. Because I need to make sure that they understand and help, number one, how it's done, especially if you work with Bay Area people. Their real estate is done completely different than here. They do all their inspections reports before they even go on the market. It is a buyer's, job to do it here. So guess what? All of us that came from the Bay Area, we get to pay for it twice. It's not very fun, but to prepare them. Hey guys, guess what? I know you think the seller takes care of it, but the buyer takes care of it here. Making sure that they understand. Do you know what's going to be coming up front? Because a lot of people think, oh, I just need a down payment. Well, we know your EMD needs to be available right away. Your inspection money is right away. Do you guys have a list of how much inspections cost that you're giving your buyers so they have an idea? Do they know if they're going to go look at a country property, we're talking another $1,000 to get a septic and well inspection? You know, do they understand that? Making sure they know how much things cost here by the buyer's presentation is giving them the guidelines of what to expect in our area is very important. So really, I just say, study the market, and Ryan Lundquist is the best person to get local data and just MLS and go to PCAR meetings, guys. The amount of knowledge that comes out of PCAR is phenomenal. You will always know what's going on, what the market's doing. And then you see all the new listings that just hit, the brokerage were there. So you're able to find out things that they just went on the market right away. So make sure you're gathering all the data, because as anybody has been hearing, the realtors that are going to survive right now are the ones who are being educated, the ones who are, and go, you have to adapt with the market. None of us know everything. None of us will ever know anything about real estate. You have to learn to adapt with the market and know what's going on at all times. Because what was happening 3 months ago is not what's happening now. And even 3 months ago, we had more inventory. Now we lost it all. It's all gone again. So, you know, I think it's going to come back. I do predict, my prediction is spring is going to be crazy. I think if you're not prepared, your clients are going to miss out, because you better get ready that things are going to go first weekend on the market.
Yeah.
And if you're not ready, if you're not prepared, and you know, if your clients are from out of town, if they can't get there, you better be there videoing it for it. You better be FaceTiming them there. So they will go, oh my God, I better just cancel my plan to get in the car and get down there. Because if people go, oh, I can come on Monday, I can take Monday off. It's too late. It's too late at that point.
Yeah.
So yes. Awesome. Any other questions? Great job.
Regarding what Kristen just said regarding a lot of the new agents that don't know what to expect, even the buyers who don't know what to expect, how do you educate your buyers regarding the inspection process? And if there's a request for repair, so they don't feel, oh my God, this is overwhelmed, I thought this was a beautiful house and it's littered with fleas. How do you, and obviously subjective, how do you prepare them? Look, this is normal. We do the request repairs and then all that. How do you?
That's a great question. I immediately, as we're going over the price guide of how much things cost for inspections, I right there in the very beginning tell them, hey guys, you know, we live in an area where sun is really intense. You should anticipate every home's going to have $5,000 in dry rot. I immediately tell them that, because it's honestly the truth. And some people so when they see 6,000, they're like, oh my God, it's 6,000. Oh, it's only 1,000 over what Cindy told me. They're prepared. And clearly you've been to the house, so you know, you might, if you've previewed it, to kind of let them know. Maybe if it's real bad, they've already had inspections ahead of time. So I review them and then tell them about it. I don't send them the inspections because they're not going to understand a pest report if they just started looking at homes. We just kind of go, hey, when we go there, I got the inspection. We're going to walk around and see, you know, where all the dry rot is when we're there, and see if it's a big deal or not. And so I really tell them there's nothing to, everything is fixable. There's nothing to be scared about. And there's so many options. You could fix it. You could credit it. You could drop the price. I mean, there's always a solution to everything. It's just getting their mindset that, hey, everything is fixable. If you want everything perfect, then go buy new construction. And even new construction has not wrong with it. We all know. That is perfect, as we all know.
Cindy, are you recommending sellers do inspection?
So I am on the, if they, you know, if it's someone who doesn't have money, clearly we're not going to ask them to do it. If anything, I usually always ask the pest, because that seems to be where the big ticket items are in our area. I prefer, if my sellers are looking for an as-is sale, which means they are not going to make any repairs, I 100% have them do it. Or we're going on the market and they're just not sure because they've lived in their house for 30 years. Let's get the reports to know exactly what it is, because maybe we could fix some stuff before on the market. And then we're saying, hey, we fixed this, but we're out of money. So at least we're showing we're good sellers, not going, here, there's a million problems. Sucks to be you. Here you go. Yeah. You know, which some people do that, you know that. But when you think it's bad, I always do have my sellers do inspections up front. The buyers can choose to either, you know, and a great thing to go with that is choose a reputable company. And someone you trust, someone you know that has the right certifications. You know, I'll let Jen talk about it, but you know, there are pest inspectors that only have one certification when you need 3, and they're not calling out stuff. I know I had a friend who just had to pay for, you know, $7,000 for a rat infestation because that they couldn't call that out. And it was a $2 million home, so it cost a lot of money and there was a lot of rat poop. but you want to make sure it's a reputable company. And here's a perfect example why. I was representing a buyer in Granite Bay. It was a $2.2 million home, and we got a pest inspection. And it said there was $2,000 worth of work that needed to be done dry rot. It was a stucco house, so no big deal. But then there was other findings, which, you know, that is the last section in there, which just said we couldn't quote it. So I was like, it's a $2.2 million house. I'm going to bring in North American back then, Good Life now. So I'm going to bring them in. Come to find out, you guys, that the part they couldn't disclose because he wasn't licensed to call it out, that repairs cost $107,000. There was a catwalk from the main house to the guest house that was about to collapse. It was a 3-month project. Luckily, the seller was super cool. He gave us all the money to fix it and extra money for the inconvenience. But can you imagine, if someone was not educated, they would have taken that $2,000 pest inspection when it was $107,000. Perfect example. They weren't allowed to call out what needed to be done. So don't use your Clark's pest control because it's free. No one cares about that. It's not legit. It's not accurate. They don't have the license to do it. Make sure you go with someone that everybody knows in this area. If it's your cousin and you're throwing them, you know, a bone and nobody knows them, more than likely someone's just going to get another inspection. You're wasting your money. To be quite honest. Yeah. Any other question?
Really good questions. Since we've got a lot of agents in the room and there's new and old and seasoned, let's do some research together. Let's define the market. So Cindy said inventory is extremely tight. Negotiations are probably not going to happen. So go in with your best and final. What else are you guys seeing while you're helping clients? Because a big part of this process is educating the buyers today to follow your lead and trust, because with inventory so tight, if they snooze, they're going to lose every single time. So what else are we seeing in the market, guys?
Time. Like Cindy said, the fastest offer is get in right away, respond quickly, and they need to leave back, give it to them without cost. Cash always works really well. We were 40 grand over asking, but to say that that's not happening anymore, it's happening. You've got to come in with your financing that right away, especially if you're going to put an expiration on it. If you're going to put an expiration on it, you can damn well better do that. And if you're not, you're like, really? You're demanding 24 hours and your offer sucks.
Yep.
And it's okay, you guys, to call the pendings and ask them what they're pending at. Because it's important for them to know, like there was, Heather Sims just had one on Rand, and then a couple doors later, there was another one on Rand that came up. My clients liked both of them. Well, I went to Heather and like, how many offers did you get? She got 15 offers and it was at 579. It went 60,000 over asking price, guys, at 579. Like this is the market we're in again. So you got to be able, like, clients might be thinking, oh, you got to go over, like, oh, we'll give them $5,000. Like, that ain't gonna work, sweetheart. You better be ready to fight. So please, and we respect agents that call us and say, how many offers do you have? We would disclose where it's pending. Now you will get some agents that are like, they don't like to share, which I don't understand why, because it's going to be public records anyways, but it doesn't hurt to call so you could give your clients more data to help them make their decisions.
I think another big shift I've seen as we come out of the winter season into this season and how the market's ramping up with low inventory, seller credits are really going away. So offers that have seller credits up front are not really winning. And we have to educate our clients that those contingency periods are another opportunity to negotiate. So when those inspections come back, we have an opportunity to negotiate for repairs. When the appraisal comes back, we have an opportunity to negotiate on price. So if you really want the home, let's go in with our best and final. It's not really a seller credit market anymore. We can negotiate that down the road. There's stop gaps for you to protect you and your interests. So that's just another thing that I've been seeing in the field as well.
Upfront.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm gonna agree. I haven't seen a credit in a long time.
Yep.
So, and your lender should never be setting you guys up that they're like, they have to get a 2-1 buy down in order to get this rate. Your lender's saying that, drop your lender right there. What they're doing is passing the dirty work onto you so they look like the hero. They should know exactly what they could purchase at, and a 2-1 buy down should be an option. But I could tell you, besides the new construction, LGI, who are offering it, I have not seen anyone asking for any credits. We're just not in an industry to do that right now. It's gone away. And I feel like it goes away every spring.
Yep. Any other questions or comments, you guys?
Been noticing as a very new agent, to make sure if you're a new agent,
and your buyer shows you a house or says, I really want to see this, it's awesome, you look at the pictures, make sure you read that it says virtually staged. Because I showed a house, and I saw that, and I was trying to tell them, this is virtually staged, so don't get too excited until we go to look at it. We went to look at it, it was yeah, from the seventies, the whole thing, it was a rental. The walls were completely painted, chipped, everything was just wrapped. So, I mean, no, okay, Pharaoh.
Like a good flip.
Yes.
All right, okay. Market for a while.
Yeah, expect the price drop. Yeah, if they're not moving ready, I'm saying they're just making price drops. It's really about moving ready right now. I mean, that's pretty much, and sellers just have to make their homes moving ready for these buyers because they're gonna be going over and let's be honest, I don't know if you guys saw the prices of lumber. I mean, plywood's at $40 a sheet right now. It's rustic flip homes, it's not very cheap right now. It's getting expensive out there. So people don't have at the set, we're at what, 7.1% today almost, they don't have the extra money anymore. They're gonna have to wait till they could refinance to go out money to fix it. So they want it something they could live in for a while and then know in the future when rates drop, then they could do the upgrades that they need to do.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you so much, Cindy. It was great. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.